the Roosters. Are the Roosters a shambles? Are they ready to rock and roll out the back door? They're going to have a big win tonight just to get the Wolves out of the game. But to me, they are going to have an overhaul because I think the playing squad is out of shape, out of cut, needs an absolute cutting big time right here, right now, with your main rugby league channel, Barry Charles Footy Show. Let's get to it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you like the video. Let's get to it. Yes, in this episode, we're going to talk about the Roosters. We're going to talk about Justin Holbrook. He's pretty much been linked to every single club in the NRL. The Storm, are they going to get Payne Haas at the $1 million mark? Obviously, Kayln Ponga talked about his possible retirement earlier in the year in his mind, but he decided to continue. And what about the Warriors? Nothing has been given to the New Zealand team since the COVID. It's a time for a magic round, or more importantly, an origin at Eden Park. There we go. Come on, NRL, give the Warriors something to think about. Anyway, let's get to the Roosters. Yes, the Roosters are an absolute. I think they're probably the worst out of any club this season. Even though the West Tigers are going very bad, but for the talent in the Roosters roster, they have absolutely been the underwhelming, the most disappointing team of the comp. What do they need to do to fix it? Well, I think some of these old boys are going to have to hit the road. Yes. To me, it would be Luke Keary needs to go. I think Luke Keary has had his day. He'll be better off to go to the Super League for mine and get a good payday, enjoy the rest of his footy, just like Mitchell Pearce. I think Luke Keary is the way to go for mine. I think he needs to go. They've obviously got to bring Sam Walker back in for mine, and they're just gonna have to find someone they can play that little bit of a controlling role inside of the, because Luke Keary and Sam Walker are too similar. Luke Keary doesn't seem to be able to control the game. He controlled a grand final when Cooper Cronk was on the team, as I've said before. But since Cooper Cronk hasn't been there, he's been absolutely gone backwards. I know he's had issues with head knocks, but this season hasn't had many. He's just been outclassed. It's not all his fault, don't get me wrong. You got Tedesco. Either Tedesco or Joseph Manu has to go. Will either of them go? I don't think so, but I honestly think Jerry Manu is a fullback, not a centre, and it's been proven. In this day and age, unless you're going to give centre early ball, Jerry Manu's wasting his time at the Roosters, but he wants to be a Rooster for life, and that's the only question. But for the Roosters power brokers, one of them has to go for mine, and they need to better improve their rest of their stocks. And Brandon Smith probably needs to go to the bench. So why I'm saying this is I think they need to let go of a decent player somewhere and buy a hooker. Because since Jake Friend's retirement, they have struggled big time in that position. And Brandon Smith is not the answer. He can play half the answer, but he can't play the full 80. It's been proven time and time again with the Storm, and even in the Kiwis in the World Cup. We got tired in the end and let him try. So Brandon Smith is going to have to play less minutes. So they need to get rid of a big player and sign a big player. But who would that be? Who can they afford? Who's even available? Well, you know the Roosters, they can get whoever they want when they want to. Who would be the likely scenario? Well, Ben Hunt, does he want to play number 9? Obviously, he could play number 7 too, as I said before with the rest. But I think he clearly wants to go to Queensland. But to me, he would be the ideal number 9. If you're wanting someone, but he would only be a short-term play, obviously. But that's what the Roosters like. Short-term play, just win a comp, don't worry about it, and then if they struggle a little bit later. But who is really looking out there? Who do you pick out of the 9s to really prove your team? Well, Api obviously, but he's re-signed, so he ain't going nowhere. Damien Cook, I don't think he won't be going anywhere else either. So you're starting to get into the... who's Blake Brayley, but a lot of these people are signed up for long term, so it's very hard to see where they're going to find a player, the Roosters. Can they find someone inside themselves? Yeah, I think there's going to be some movement here, whether it's not the players, the coaching staff. Well, obviously Trent Robinson's come out and said that no, Cooper Cronk's not going nowhere, it's all lies. I have to question whether Cooper Cronk gets the best out of Sam Walker. Cooper Cronk, there's no doubt he works hard, don't get me wrong, he really works hard at this game. But is he allowing Sam Walker to play his game? Is Trent Robinson allowing Sam Walker to play the way he wants to play? Because I'm telling you now, if they don't want him, he should go somewhere else. Whether he would go to the Tigers, I don't think so. But the Tigers would be where he would play his best footy, I think, under Benji Marshall. He would know how to play Sam Walker. But, I mean, it's probably not good for the career, maybe. But he could turn the West Tigers around if they signed him. That's just a little bit of all. But coming back to the Roosters, Cooper Cronk and Matt King, are they all out the door? Is anyone saying Trent Robinson should be out the door? Yes, he's won a few premierships, but he's done it with star players, Cooper Cronk. You can argue that with Craig Bellamy. He's struggled a bit since the big guns are gone. Even though he might be making the top 8, but he's not making the grand finals as he once was. So, yeah, that's a lot. And that's a question you can also have on Ivan Keary. Is he the greatest coach? People say he's a great coach, but he's got a star-studded team. And if that star-studded team starts to implode, then we'll see. But if they can continue to deliver, that's another question on who are the better coaches in the game. Where Wayne Bennett seems to have done it at different clubs with different players and just improved them out of sight. So I would still say Wayne Bennett's the master. But he's quite not getting it done with the Dolphins this season, though. Even though they're probably not better than expectations, but since they did good expectations, they've fallen off a cliff. Justin Holbrook is the Warrington Wolves are come a knocking right on the full moon for those people that love the full moon. And also Phil Gould seems to be everywhere at the moment. He's in jail. He's meeting people. He's flying to Gold Coast to try and get Justin Holbrook to come as an assistant coach. You got the West Tigers wanting him. Everybody's wanting Justin Holbrook. The Dragons. I mean, what's doing? Where is he going to end up? Warrington, baby. Yes. I would go to Warrington. There's less pressure on you. You just enjoy your life. It'll depend on what he wants to do, where he wants to live. But to me, I think for him, he's just better off to go to Super League and stay there for mine and have an illustrious career over there. For Justin Holbrook, I think that's where he should go. The Storm, yes, the Melbourne Storm are trying to sign Payne Haas, which there's no doubt they need a Payne Haas. Don't get me wrong, he will turn this team around if he was able to nail it. But I think every club will be looking for him. Bulldogs, the Roosters, there's going to be quite a lot of teams going for Payne Haas here, so it'll depend on where Payne Haas wants to go, whether he wants to go back to Sydney. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting old play for Payne Haas where he wants to go. There's also rugby as well. I don't think rugby is a big concern at the moment, but it depends on if he wants short term or long term. It'll be interesting to see what he wants to do there, Payne Haas. So just another team to put into the thing with Payne Haas, but big non-eventy. The Kiwis, yes, the Kiwis, the New Zealand Warriors. Is New Zealand going to get some rugby league? For start, they should get the test match at the end of the year. Then we should have a 3-game match against Australia, and that's what we should have, not just one. Let's have a big 3 games, really get some exciting footy, travel around New Zealand, have it at the Eden Park, Wellington and Christchurch. That would be beautiful stuff from the NRL. But what about a magic round? Yes, people are talking about, should we have a magic round? And also the Origin at Eden Park in 2025. Yeah, baby. Let's get some Origin feeling going there. New Zealand public deserve it. If you look at the crowds, they've been outstanding this season with the Warriors performing well. They know how to host a big game. So yes, maybe the New Zealand deserve an Origin in 2025. And the Magic Round, could we have 3 Magic Rounds a year? I think it's a possibility. I don't know if they want to do it. One in Brisbane, one in Sydney, and one in New Zealand. Every year, Magic Round, yes. Give everyone a chance to meet all the players in all the big areas, to celebrate the footy for all the footy fans out there. Get a chance to meet all the players where they can. I think it's a great deal. Anyway, that's me from Barry Charles Footy Show. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with more rugby league. Enjoy the footy out there. Big game, Roosters and Manly. Who gets it done? Titans and Warriors on Friday Night Football. There's a lot of big games this weekend. Big games, all right. The Cowboys, Brisbane, Penrith, Storm. So many big games to watch. Enjoy the footy. Have a great day out there.